At UFC 323, we're not just watching a fight, we're watching a moment in history. You've got a champion trying to do something that's never been done, and a former champ looking to solve what might be the toughest puzzle in the entire sport. So let's get right into it and break this thing down. First things first, we have to talk about the historical stakes here, because this isn't just another title defense. No, this is a real, legitimate shot at UFC immortality. And really, it all boils down to one simple but absolutely massive question. In what's probably the toughest sport on earth, can a champion actually do something that seems physically impossible? Okay, so get this. Merab Dvalishvili is trying to defend his bantamweight title for the fourth time in just one calendar year. Let me be clear, in the modern Shark Tank era of the UFC, that is completely unheard of. The level of activity alone is it's mind-boggling. And just look at the year he's had. What a gauntlet. He kicked it off in January by beating the undefeated monster, Umar Nurmagomedov. Then in June, he chokes out the former champ, Sean O'Malley. And just a couple months ago, in October, he grinds out a win against a tactical genius in Corey Sandhagen. To even think about a fourth fight after all that is just staggering. So you've got to be asking, how is any of this even possible? Well, to get that, you have to understand the guy who's doing it. You have to understand what makes him the Machine. And that nickname, the Machine, it's not just some cool moniker. It literally describes how he fights. The guy has a gas tank that just seems inhuman. It fuels this non-stop, suffocating offense that's designed to completely overwhelm and drown his opponents, not just physically, but mentally too. I want you to just think about this number for a second. 49. In his first fight against Petr Pan, Merab attempted 49 takedowns. That is the all-time UFC record for a single fight. It's insane. And if that wasn't crazy enough, on top of all those takedown attempts, he also threw 401 strikes. For a 25-minute title fight, that amount of output is almost unbelievable. And look, this isn't some one-time fluke. The stats prove he's a true outlier in the sport. He's absolutely shattered the career takedown record, he's 7th all-time in strikes landed, and he's got one of the longest average fight times, because he just forces this brutal, grueling pace from the first bell to the last. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because remember, this is a rematch. We've actually seen this fight before, which means we already have a blueprint for how Merab can win. And the game plan he used last time, it was just perfect. First, he went after Petr Pan's lead leg over and over. That damage basically shut down Jan's ability to switch stances, which is a massive part of his striking game. And with Jan stuck in place, Merab could just unleash that signature, relentless offense and drown him. The numbers from that first fight are just shocking. We already talked about the 49 takedown attempts and 401 strikes from Merab. But to put that into perspective, Jan's next 3 opponents combined for only 20 takedown attempts. Merab nearly tripled that in just one fight. So, what was the result of all that pressure? Well, it was a total shutout, a clean sweep, 50-45 on all the judges' scorecards. It was one of the most one-sided, dominating performances you will ever see against an elite, former champion like Petr Pan. But there's another crucial layer to this rematch. To really get the intensity, you have to understand that for Merab Dvalishvili, this isn't just business. This is personal, deeply personal. You don't have to take my word for it. Just listen to what he said himself. He's from Russia. I'm from Georgia. Every time we have a competition against Russians, we have to win. That one quote just adds a whole different level of pressure and motivation here. And he's been really open about where that feeling comes from. It's rooted in Russia's occupation of Georgian territory. So for him, every time he fights a Russian opponent, it feels like he's carrying the weight of his entire country on his shoulders. It makes it personal every single time. So all of this, the history, the styles, the bad blood, it all brings us right here to the big puzzle of the rematch. It's been a couple of years. Has anything changed? Has Jan figured it out? Or is Merab's blueprint just unbeatable? When you boil it all down, this is one of those classic fights, right? It's Merab's overwhelming, never-ending volume against Petr Pan's beautiful boxing and sniper-like precision. It really is a battle of attrition versus accuracy. You know, the winner is going to be whoever answers these key questions. We know Jan has a phenomenal 85% takedown defense. But can it possibly hold up against that record-setting volume? Has he found a new strategy to counter the pressure? And the big one, is it even humanly possible to outpace the machine for 25 minutes?
So that's what this all comes down to, right? Has Petr Pan, the former champ, finally found the answer to the most exhausting, difficult puzzle in all of MMA? Or is the machine about to run right through him and straight into the history books? We're going to find out at UFC 323.